Respect and manners to each and everyone out there. Welcome back to the Cutting Up Podcast, and I'm your host, Mr. Ras Baja B. Yes. So today's topic is a bit sensitive, and I just want to hold a conversation with open-minded people. Open-minded people, those are the ones that I really just want to have a conversation with. And nobody has all the answers. I don't have all the answers. I'm sure we learn as we go, and I want to talk to my Christians out there. I grew up as a Christian. Was raised in a Roman Catholic house. My parents, my father is strictly into Roman Catholic. My mother, she did Methodist church, and she went to Roman Catholic, and she went to different churches, and I, from a tender age, I attended nothing but Catholic churches, so that's how I grew up. And that's the only church that I knew, and what goes in there, and what are the requirements to get baptized, and stuff like that. Nothing but Roman Catholic, But my issue, I'm no longer, I denounced all that. I'm not a Christian. I don't belong to any religion. I don't want to be, I don't want to be in that category, to be called a Christian, a Catholic Christian, or a Seventh-day Christian, or none of that stuff. I think religion is within, religion, religion has been controversial to me. I think religions, they're busy, they're in competition. A lot of religions are in competitions, you know what I mean? Because this one acts like they know God better than this one, and this is the right way to pray or to obey God. And this one says, the Christians, the Roman Catholic says, Jesus Christ was crucified on a cross. And you have one of those that walk door to door, the Jehovah's Witness. They say he was crucified on a stake. It's so many variations and so many beliefs out there, and that shows me right there that they're in competition. There's this one want to prove this one, and this one is proving this one, and I denounced all that. Like, I don't belong to any religious group. Do I believe that there's a supreme being? Yes. I don't believe, this just appeared from nowhere. I believe all the animals and the human beings, Earth, the planets, I believe that they came from somewhere. And my belief is there is a supreme being. Now, I don't believe in the middleman. I don't believe in Jesus, this character guy named Jesus. Again, this conversation is for the open-minded people, you know what I mean? And we were given senses to question these things. And what I've noticed, a lot of Christians, they don't, once you question their beliefs, it's like they will send you to hell faster than anybody else. You know what I mean? As if like they know, like as if they know my relationship with the Supreme Being, and of which I don't know if the Supreme Being is a human being, it looks like me, or what it is. But I believe the Supreme Being has the right intentions. But I don't base on that book called the Bible. You know, I do believe the book has been manipulated so many times for some people gains. Christianity, excuse me, Christians, they're too judgmental. They act as if they know your relationship with God, all right? So there's a thing called faith, and there's a thing called belief. Faith, belief, you got a thing called doubt, and some people say they know. So 4 subjects. Let me start with faith. The way I look at faith biblically, faith are things hoped for. Things hoped for that has never been seen. That is faith. That's biblically, I think that's what it means. Things hoped for and that has never been seen. That is faith. You're hoping for this, but you have never seen it. You're hoping things turn out this way, biblically, but you've never seen it. And then you got belief. Belief is believing in something, but without evidence. Belief is believing in something without evidence. So faith and belief, they're very similar. They're very, very similar. So faith is you're hoping for something that you have never seen. Belief is you are believing in something, but you don't have evidence. So, and then you have doubt. Doubt is basically believing, but it still leaves room for investigations, to gather evidence. So you're doubting, so you believe, but you still have that, you're leaving room to investigate, to get the evidence. So a doubt pushes you to do more. So, and now you got knowing. Some pastors say they know this, they know that. No, you don't. I mean, let's be frank, you know what I mean? They're just preaching. They just want you to believe. No, you don't. Knowing is the same thing as basically belief. And we're talking about knowing biblically. Okay? So knowing is something as belief. You pastors say they know this and that, they know this and that. No, you don't. You just believe, but you don't have the evidence. So basically, it brings me back. Now it takes me to this book called the Bible. I'm an African youth, and I believe in my roots. I believe in my roots. Strongly believe in my roots, and nobody on earth. Let me take a sip. Nobody on earth can tell me otherwise. I believe in my roots as an African youth. Christianity was introduced to Africans by the Europeans. Obviously, we know this, or by the Romans. I don't care whoever it is. But Christianity was never an African thing. We are basically spiritual people. We believe in spirits. We believe in our ancestors. This character guy named Jesus was introduced to us. And those that introduced that book, they are very intelligent and they are very good in manipulating. They put that fear in Africans. And our ancestors, our older generations, they didn't know any better. Africans are basically, Africans, our nature is, we are laid back people and loving people. We are not thinking about creating a nuclear bomb. We don't do that. That's not us. That's not our culture. Africans are loving people. So, this book now called the Bible, it basically drowned our spiritual trying to think of a right term. English is not my first language, so. But we are spiritual people. It drowned that. It's like we look at that as a secondary or third thing. Secondary thing. The first thing, now we threw away the spiritual belief that we have, the spiritual, not belief though, but, what we practice. We practice spiritual hymns. And now we've put that to the back burner. And we've put Christianity, religion, in front of that. I mean, again, as I stated in the beginning of this conversation, I said this is for the open-minded people. It's a discussion. Of course, I stand to be corrected, but these are questions, these are things that I think about on a daily basis. It's like, what the fuck is going on? As I grew older, that's why I said I denounced Christianity, religion. If God is a human being, or if God is this, if I'm made in the image of God, when I talk directly to God. I don't go through Jesus. I don't go through Mary. I don't go through Abraham. I don't go through none of them, because I believe those are just characters that were put in place for whatever reasons. Because if you look at each and every one of those characters, they play a role. And that's another conversation. I'll be here all day talking about this, but I'll get back to that. So it brings me back to the Bible. If you look at the Bible, I'll take another sip. I need this. Kind of, my voice is kind of hoarse, so I need some water. The Bible says, in the beginning, God created Adam One person, Adam. Right. I went to school and I didn't go to universities and stuff like that, but I went to school just to strengthen my common sense, my reasoning skills. School was not my thing. To those who know me, they know me that, Russ Badger was just a playful kid in school because, you know. But the only subject that mattered to me was mathematics because you can solve anything through math. Mathematics, you can solve any problems through mathematics. So anyway, let's go back to the Bible. The Bible says God created one person, which is Adam, right? And he put Adam in this garden, right? And I guess I'm basing what I'm talking about is what the book says, not what I'm saying, or not what I'm, or not like I'm making this shit up. But I guess when God made Adam, he didn't think it through that Adam was going to be lonely. According to this book, God created Adam and didn't think it through, or he saw that Adam was just lonely, which means God didn't think it through that Adam was going to be lonely. And so God ended up creating Eve, a female. So now Adam had a companion. So it was Adam and Eve. If I'm not mistaken, when they say Adam ate the apple, I think that was, the apple is having sex. Because they were both naked. To me that's porn. That's pornographic sites right there. So they were in there in the garden naked, and obviously they had sex. I think that's what they mean by eating the apple. Again, I stand to be corrected if I'm wrong. You know what I mean? Nobody, I don't, we all don't have the answers. But so Adam and Eve. So it was, okay, let's count. Like I said earlier when I talked about math, this is where it comes to play. Adam, one human being on earth. And then God created Eve. So Adam could have somebody to talk to and do all sorts of things. Two people. Because the book says in the beginning, God created Adam and Eve. So it's two people so far. And then Adam ate the apple. And then God came. He was like, hey, I told you not to eat from this fruit. Why are you eating it? And then he said, Eve seduced me to whatever, to eat the apple. And then God was mad at Eve and said, I guess that's what he said, now you're going to bear the pain of giving birth. I think that's where the book says the pain came from. Again, I'm going to reiterate this. I stand to be corrected because I'm just putting these things together as I was going through this book. So, Adam and Eve had sex, obviously, and they had Cain. Now it's three people. They had Cain. And they met again, and they had Abel. Now it's four people. Adam, Eve, Cain, and Abel. Cain killed his brother. Now we're back to three. But when I say, before I go any further, it said God created Adam, and they saw that Adam was lonely. If I was a woman, I would be upset because it means that God never intended to create a woman. According to the book now, I'm talking about the book. This is in the book. It means God never intended to create a woman. This just shows you the level of the sexism from the people that wrote this book. If you notice from the beginning, everything is being blamed on the woman. So basically, a woman was an afterthought. A woman was an afterthought in the beginning, according to this book now. Because we cannot sugarcoat anything. You know, I mean, if a book is written, you have to, if you have questions, they have to make sense to you. I mean, answers have to make sense to you. So it means a woman was not even intended to be created. A woman was an afterthought after God saw that Adam was a lonely guy, you know, in the garden. So anyway, back to that. Adam and Eve had their two boys, Cain and Abel. Cain killed Abel. Back to 3. Cain went to the east of the garden to go find a wife. Now let's stop right there. According to this book now, Cain went to the east of the garden to go find a wife. So let's stop. Common sense now. Remember, it was 2 people, went to 4 people, back to 3. So Cain went to the east of the garden to go find a wife. So where did these mystery people come from? That's a woman too, remember, wife. So which means, that's what I'm saying. The sexism, the level of sexism from these people that wrote this book, it's like they don't give flowers to these women. So a woman is just put, so these people that were on the east of the garden didn't matter. They were not worthy of being mentioned in this book. Because the book says it was Adam and Eve, and there was 2 boys. So where did these mystery people come from? If only it was 2 people on earth. We have to question these things, people. Again, I don't know. I need answers. I need to understand, because I'm a person that just don't follow trend. I just don't follow. It has to make sense to me. As I grow older, my actions has to make sense to me, not to you, not to anybody else, but to me. Because experience is the greatest teacher, and experience teaches wisdom. That's just the way things operate, I guess. That's the way I look at things. Mr. Ras Bajabi, that's the way I look at things. It's so many stories in this book. You have some people that if you put their Bible on the floor, it's a book, inked book, pages. If you put it on the floor or drop it on the floor, they'll fucking freak out. They'll freak out. It means you're conditioned. That book did its job. And there's some things in this book says, okay, let's talk about this. The book says, blessed are the poor, right? For they shall inherit their riches in heaven. Now, people, this is 2022. We don't have any excuses to be this stupid and dumb. We cannot just follow trend. Think about the people. How many versions of Bibles are there? New Testament, Old Testament, King James Version. So you don't think for once that the message has been manipulated to fit certain situations? Blessed are the poor, for they shall inherit their riches in heaven. Okay, where is heaven? Where is heaven? Has anybody ever died? Put the book to the side. Stop with that nonsense saying that Lazarus came back and all that type of... Stop with that shit. Has any of your relatives, your people, have you experienced somebody that died and went to heaven and came back and said, shit, we are here on earth to live? If those people that want to go to heaven, why won't they die today? Why won't you just die today? Why won't you just hurry up and go to heaven? What you waiting for if heaven is this great of a place? I believe that heaven is on earth and hell is on earth. You make your own heaven, and heaven is about how you live, how you create your environment. And hell is the same thing, how you live and how you create your own environment. If you want to live in a crime world, like if you want to be a criminal, that's your hell, because you got to be in prison, whereby you being monitored every minute. But if you want to live righteous, you're going to be all over the world, flying, having good time. That's heaven. The body expires. Everything comes to an end. The body expires. That will be the end of you. I believe that the body expires, but the spirit... I can take this room right here, right? I can break the walls, but the space in here is not going nowhere. I can rebuild these walls, but the space, the air, the space is still there, it's still gonna exist. This body can die. This body are the walls. This body are the walls of this room. This body dies, but the spirit within lives on. That's what I believe. That's what I believe in. So I think we all have to, at some point, just not follow. Again, like I said in the beginning, I stand to be corrected, and this topic is for open-minded people, you know. And I know a lot of Christians out there, they're gonna be burning me. They're gonna be, they're gonna be bashing me. But people like me, I care zero. But I don't want to carry that attitude, not to care. But I want to have a healthy conversation. And when we're having this conversation, I don't want no Bible talk. Because there are some people that are so good with this book, but they lose common sense. And these parables, because I think they say parables were told to make an easy understanding of the situation. Like, there's nobody that can walk on water. There's nobody that can part the sea apart. There's nobody that can feed 5,000 people with 2 loaves and 5 fishes, or vice versa. We know that's not feasible. Unless if it's magic. They call it miracle, I guess. When was the last miracle? I don't mean, I'm not trying to disrespect anybody and their beliefs. These are just my thoughts. These are just questions. And again, this is just a conversation. I stand to be corrected by if anybody reaches out to me, because there's quite a few people that follow me, and after every podcast they call me, or they send personal messages into my inbox. And like I said, I'm gonna bring some of them on this channel, and we can have a conversation. And I'm willing to have a conversation with anybody but I don't want no vague answers. I want common sense answers. I don't want no faith answers, because faith is things hoped for, but that has never been seen. So basically, people use faith to validate their beliefs. That's an easy getaway right there. And again, like I said, belief is believing without evidence. How can you prove the unproven? Until next time, Mr. Ross Bajabi signing out. Peace.